Hello, Danny Gamble here. Well, apparently, trying to get in the Twitter world doesn't really work for me because I really can't get my points across in 140 characters or left or less. Anyways, I was asked to put a little video together because some people actually somewhat liked what I said, and it's just my opinion, so take it for what it is. This was regarding all the people coming across the border right now, and because of the 140 characters, I wasn't able to give the total clarity of what I mean. As far as the people coming over, I get why they're doing it, and if I was one of them, I'd be doing it myself. But I get to go, because it's a video, I can do a little bit more here. But it's sort of like rats fleeing from a ship. And you might say, well, that's awful, you can't call them rats. I'm not calling them rats, I'm just talking about that where there's a sinking ship, and right now America is kind of sinking on how they treat illegal immigrants, and because of that, the people are fleeing to the best country that they can find around, and we are that. So I know to a lot of people on Power and Politics right now, they're touting that. Hats off to us. However, it all comes with the dynamics. If the U.S. has a problem with Mexico allowing their what's Trump call them, their bad hombres to come into the country. They're not sending their good people, they're sending their bad hombres and stealing our workers and a lot of drug people. And probably a lot of that's true, guys. I mean, I did live in Mexico, and yes, there's a big market in the States. The States like their drugs, guys. You like your drugs in the States. And so these guys are going to make money at it. Of course, it causes a lot of gang warfare because they're fighting over the sales in the streets. And so it's sad, it's awful, it's gross. People that are coming all the way up to Canada, there is a hypocritical problem here. And again, right what I said at the beginning, I understand why they're doing it. If I was them, I would be doing it too. So don't. That's where I stand on that. However, the question I have is, hey U.S., what the hell? You're going to build a wall because the Mexicans aren't helping to control how many people are crossing the borders into your country. They're just sending them, right? They're not doing anything to stop them. I'm watching on TV one of your border guards being interviewed along with our police, our CMP, as they help some people across the border. Now, I already know you guys have night lights, so it doesn't matter that they're crossing at nighttime. You guys obviously are, if that was coming the other way, if the flow was coming your way, and someone mentioned 1 million people today, and someone laughingly said from Manitoba that's like tourists, probably is tourists, and that's not the same thing because they're going through legally, and they're coming back home. They're just buying their products down there that they want to get, or just getting out of Canada for a while, going for a holiday, day holiday, week holiday, who cares? So you have totally lambasted Mexico for what they're doing at the borders, and you're going to make them pay for the wall one way or another because they're not doing their job. And your own guards are literally watching and helping to assist people to get over to Canada. It's not right, guys. Now, Canada said, I understand everyone saying, well, Dan, we need to do this. Like, these people are going to have a better life here. And I get that, and they are, and what they're doing from their point of view is the correct thing to do. And I would do it too. But the problem is there's someone in France or Germany that's applied to come to Canada. And now you might say, oh, well, it doesn't matter. They still get to apply, and these people will be processed. But if you watched your own show earlier today, your own show said, well, most of the people that come through, unless they have a criminal record or have done something wrong, they will be processed through. They will succeed. That message is scary because, yes, there's people down, we saw yesterday's news where people are down in Mexico trying to figure out how to get around the States. Well, if they had money, guys, they would have paid for a flight. And you might say, well, they have trouble getting on the planes. Well, there's ways around that. They'll do if they were rich, they'd have to do a private flight. And actually, if they're rich, they'd probably help our community better. But that's terrible of me to say that. But if they had the means to fly over the States or boat around the States, they would do it. And then again, once they're on our soil, they would be able to apply. And if they didn't have any criminal records, they would most likely succeed. So where am I going with this? Well, people are saying that's jumping the queue, and they're not wrong. It is jumping the queue because you can say, oh, well, no, I mean, they've made it here and this is our laws. But those people waiting in camps that have applied properly and correctly through our embassies and all the proper procedures and been checked out and background checked. Some of them will come, yes, but eventually, even us, we're going to have to say, whoa, we can't take everyone in the world. And I'm going to go there in a second why we shouldn't take everyone in the world, which might people say, whoa, we got this country where I'll have a great life. Well, yeah, the person in the news is probably making 100 grand, 150 grand a year. They don't care. Oh, we can afford them. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people, and actually I'll challenge you. A lot of you guys from Power and Politics that go down to Toronto, go down to the streets that aren't the popular streets, look at the people on the streets, and explain to them why someone born and raised that didn't succeed in life, we no longer have a home for them. We no longer have food and water and medical and dental for them. But somebody who has just as equally a tougher life, definitely tougher life from these war zone areas, is suddenly going to have a life that these guys are still going to be on the streets, watching them walk by them and go into the coffee shops and have a place over their head and a clean bath. And you might say, well, you can't talk like that. But I am challenging you because I actually believe it's the old saying, make sure your own backyard is clean before you try to judge other people's backyards or try to help the whole world's backyards. When we get over obnoxious with the states about how they do things. Well, let's just make sure that we're doing everything correct, because you talk to the native Indians of our land, they're not going to be that pleased. You talk to the homeless of our lands, they're not going to be that pleased. And you're going to say, well, but we should be to help everyone. Well, actually, that would be cool. So, maybe, I'll go after the 1%ers here. Maybe there should be more money being pooled back into the people. And there should be a base standard. Wouldn't that be nice? All around the world, a base standard where everyone has to have food, clean drinking water, medical, schooling. Wonderful. Kumbaya. I'd love Kumbaya. I'd love it to happen. In the meantime, by announcing the way we are and saying, oh, we're so great, we'll receive them, and we'll make them go through the process, but we already know that they're going to get through unless they've been caught and fingerprinted for doing something negative that someone might actually say, well, actually, we can't take this one. He's going to go back because he'll be our example that we do send people back. It's not right. And the biggest part of this not being right now is that the U.S. is basically saying, we don't want you. Walk to Canada, here, let me help you carry the bag. And that's wrong. And people saying, well, they're not a safe place for immigrants. Well, of course, they're safer than most in the world. And we can't go that route. That's being political. I mean, you still have a country that is a great country right to our south there. So you can't say that. It's not going to happen. It's just silly words. And we don't want it to happen, because we don't want them to be a place that doesn't receive some of the people, because they have actually more usable land, more usable jobs, finances to actually support more people that are struggling in the world. We need to have some way of controlling this. There are policies in place, and I don't know them all. I don't know if they're perfect. I don't know if they can be improved. All that can be done and should be always worked on every year anyways. We should always be trying to improve the systems that we have. But right now, we should be actually saying, hey guys, you bitch at Mexico for this. You want to build a wall because of this. And now you have the people flowing this way. And you're even trying to throw out things that you know that sooner or later we're going to notice. And you're saying things like you're getting $1 million a year from Manitoba. The person that said that down the States is kind of hilarious. I guess they don't realize that we only have 36, 37 million, 38, whatever it is, but in the high 30s in our whole country. And we've had $1 million a year going there every year. Then it'd be like, the hourglass, we'd be empty a long time ago. All right, so only 9 minutes for me, that's short. So I'm going to try to do the Twitter thing by putting the link to this on it. And then hopefully someone will watch this and, maybe it's valid, maybe it's not. Maybe there's something in there that should be heard. I do notice the last few days since I sent my first couple of tweets regarding this thing about the states being hypocritical, about how they're handling the south border to the north border, that there's more talk of that on TV. So I don't know, hopefully I had some small part in that. And remember, I'm sitting in the basement, I'm unemployed. Well, I work for the movie industry, but basically unemployed because they haven't called me in a couple months. So, hey, I'd love to find some work, and then I'll be one less guy that's maybe living on the street. Take care. Bye.